Couch Potato. Opposite side of the screen, we got Coach Slate. We are here courtesy of the Barn Baseball and Softball Academy, and it has been a wild, wild week in recruiting. Buckeyes get some booms, some commitments postponed as the recruiting world is fluid. So we'll dive into that. Take a look at the remaining defensive line targets and kind of recap for you guys there since everything's gotten crazy, and go over some pending announcements, I think.
Yeah, man. And also, disclaimer, if you guys see a shimmer on my face, my daughters, I am a girl dad, three beautiful girls. My daughter just got a makeup set and they use my desk as their makeup area, and there is glitter everywhere. And so if you see a shimmer on my face, just know I'm not trying to just look pretty for you guys. It's because there's glitter all over the place.
Slate has makeup everywhere, and I've got football cards everywhere. So, um, welcome to the world of kids, grown kids.
Yeah.
Um, so the week started off with a boom for the Buckeyes. Aaron Thomas, a guy we talked a lot about when he scheduled his visit. 6'7", 300 pounds. It doesn't get much more true tackle than that.
Yeah.
Freaky athletic. Not a highly ranked guy. He's, the number 36 tackle, which really, though, when you look that most programs are bringing 2 or 3 tackles in, that's really not a bad ranking.
Yeah, it's not a bad ranking at all. And again, Coach Bowen casting that wide net. You got a guy that's got all the athleticism in the world. He's a tackle body. He's got the pedigree. His dad, I believe, was the center for Chris Winkie at Florida State. And he's got the backing of Buckeye great, LaCharles Bentley. And when you have that type of training and background, that is all you need for me, like, or for
Yeah.
me, like, if he's backing you, that's all I need to know. But if you turn on the film, you see an athletic, big human being, a natural tackle body. And so this is somebody that I think, with a couple years of development, you're not expecting him to come in right away, but with a couple years of development, this is a guy that could be a contributor, a key contributor on this offensive line. And again, Coach Bowen doing a good job of identifying his guys and going after them, man. So this is a guy that I think a couple years down the road is going to be a player for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and the Buckeyes withstood a very late charge. Texas A&M made a real big push, it sounds like, according to some of the insiders. Now, Thomas is on the record saying he called the staff Sunday and committed after his A&M visit.
Okay.
So there's kind of some conflicting stuff out there. Obviously, you're going to take the kid's word for it.
Yep.
Like you said, trans with Charles Bentley. I think this is a ratings bump kid. I
Yeah.
think by the end of his senior season, he will be a 4-star.
Yeah.
Which Buckeye fans are enamored with star rankings. So that'll make them sleep better at night when the class is finalized.
Yeah, and how about two offensive linemen from the state of Arizona in one class, man? That's I think that's pretty cool. And so again, we've said it a million times, casting that wide net with the offensive line. I just love the fact that Coach Bowen is going out and doing that, and I think we got a good one in Aaron Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, he's the type of kid that it makes you wonder if Justin Fry would have offered him.
Yeah, it's a good question, man. That is a very good question.
So then we're recording this on Friday night. So we got another boom today. Probably the most scrutinized position, not just this class, but for the Buckeyes a lot, because Larry Johnson plays his cards close. Damari Simeon, 4-star D tackle, Richland, New Jersey, 6'3", 275. This kid had no composite ranking 4 months ago,
Yeah.
and is now the number 26th ranked D lineman, number 201 overall. Another kid that probably is going to get a bump. Um, Penn State, Michigan, and Texas were the other hats on the table. I know you like this kid a lot.
I really like this kid a lot. I think he's got a frame that's going to get closer to 300 pounds. I think he plays with a very good burst. I think he plays with violent hands. I think he plays the way you want to see a three technique play the game of football. And so this is a guy who I think is a true three technique. I think he does have some inside outside versatility, but in his high school scheme, he was asked to play on the interior, and he just does a really good job of playing technically sound, violent hands, just does his job on a consistent basis. You get him with Coach Mick, you get him, on the training tables and getting that good weight on. I think this is a guy who is just going to be a stud. I see why they like him. This is a huge, huge get in my opinion. He's got really long arms, and as a defensive lineman, you can't ask for much more. That's one of the key moves that Coach Johnson is really going to have them work on. Those are the things that you really need. These hands, getting on the interior of the offensive line is something that it really needs to happen. And so I think with Simeon, you got somebody who's got really violent punch and really violent hands. And I think this is a kid who could develop into a really good three technique. Again, not comparing. I don't like to do the comparison thing to Edric Houston right away, but I just think it's a very similar vibe to Edric Houston. Needs to get a little bigger, but I just see a lot of potential and some similarities in their game with that versatility. But this guy is a true three technique. I think his kid can play.
Yeah, I think that um, you hit it. Yeah, I know you don't like to do the comparison
Yeah.
thing, but I think it really works out well for people to visualize,
Yeah,
who
for
who
sure.
don't watch film,
Yeah.
um, because you can envision Edric Houston and what we saw already this year.
Yeah.
Um, I think this was one of the top targets on the interior D line.
No doubt
I
about it.
think that was Coach LJ's guy. Um, and D line recruiting is obviously always going to be scrutinized because everybody wants the 5-star edges, the big D tackles. And with a new DC this year, we've seen the board get kind of weird. Um, you know, I've got it at, let's say, 7 D line targets left. Obviously, you're not taking them all.
Yeah.
Um, the big fish is Edge Carter Meadows,
Mm-hmm.
number 5 Edge, Gonzaga High School, Washington D.C. Has thought to have been a Michigan lean for a
Okay.
long time. There's a lot of OSU smoke coming
Okay.
out. Basically, it sounds like the Luke Wafel money is getting pushed to Carter Meadows,
Okay.
and we're gonna go from there.
All right.
Um, then you've got the two Duncanville, Texas guys we talked about, KJ Ford, Landon Barnes.
Yeah.
Um, I know you've got to watch Barnes some more and have
Yeah.
some thoughts on him.
Yeah. Man, I love Landon Barnes. He to me. Okay, so when it comes to coaching these like 4 and 5 star guys, there's a part of you that has to just kind of let them be, right? You don't want to overcoach them because they're just naturally gifted. And so I remember I played on a, this is so crazy. I remember I had a conversation with a former 4 or 5 star player. And I said, dude, like, how did you get coached in high school? And he looked at me and he said, I didn't, because he was just that good, right? And so you have to walk this fine line. Like, yeah, you can't be afraid to coach them, but you also have to understand they have this God-given ability, and they just got to go out there and just show that God-given ability so they can go make plays. I watch Barnes's film. I watch his highlights, and I see a guy who plays technically sound within the scheme of their defense at Duncanville High School, and it's just an awesome thing to watch. He plays violent with his hands. He plays within their scheme. He doesn't go outside of their scheme. And so when you watch him, you're like, man, his plays aren't just necessarily jumping out off the screen, but he's doing exactly what he is a coach to do. And as a coach, like that is just a phenomenal thing to see. So that lets me know that when if we're able to land this guy, that he's going to do exactly what he needs to do to get on the field. And when you're a coach, that is the type of guy that you want. He plays a lot bigger than that 235 frame. He plays with such violent knockback and violent hands. And you're going to hear me say that a lot with these defensive linemen. But that is one of the most crucial parts of being a good defensive lineman, is having those violent hands. And Barnes plays with that, man. And so if you can get somebody like this and you get him up to 250, 255 pounds, you're talking about a stalwart defensive end who has the athleticism that if you are able to just kind of cut him loose and just say, hey, man, go do your thing, you got the total package, man. And so I'm a big fan. In my opinion, that guy's a must get. But, man, when I watch his film and I just see him play, I'm just like, dude, this guy just plays within the scheme. And that's a high school coach's dream when you have these 4 and 5 star kids who are just going to do what you ask them to do. You can't ask for much more from those type of guys.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that is all you can ask,
Yeah.
especially at the edge position where discipline is
Yeah.
so vital.
Yeah.
Moving inside, this is where things get really convoluted. Um, we talked about PJ Dean a couple weeks ago. It sounds like there has kind of been the agreement that the Buckeyes are no longer pursuing him.
Okay.
Uh, so that leaves us with 4 guys, only because one of them is not officially flipped. So Jameer Perez, the massive young man from Glenville, who gives you that big bodied, I feel like he's a true nose.
Yep.
Sounds like he is just playing the waiting game. I keep hearing August is when the flip is going to become real.
Okay.
It's funny because he's committed to Florida still, but I'm pretty sure all of his crystal balls are on Ohio State now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, man. And I was reading some of the message boards and seeing some comments about, Jameer Perez and do we really need like this big body? And it's just so funny. Buckeye fans just a few weeks ago were so upset that we let this Glenville candidate or Glenville kid get out of the state and go to Florida, and now you're almost taking it for granted. Like in today's game of football, yes, you need this big body, and just this is a guy that we do need to flip. We need that true nose tackle. There's no doubt about it. We need somebody that can be there with Cade McDonald. We can't have Cade McDonald as the only guy that we have on this roster that is that true big body as a one technique. And so this is a guy that I do think we need to flip, no doubt about it.
And then Cam Brickle, the 3-star from IMG, who his offer list is that of a 5-star
Yeah.
plus. Essentially, every big program in the country. I don't think Clemson's offered him, and there was one more school, like a Georgia or South Carolina, that normally offers all of the elite D tackles. Um, all the crystal balls are on Ohio State. Another kid who, no matter where he commits, is going to get a bump.
Yeah.
Um, but when we watched his film when he came on his visit, I know we both liked him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Man, I think this kid can play. We've already showed his film once. He's a big guy. He's 300 pounds right now. He's going to get bigger. A guy that could be a true one technique. Once he puts on weight, I think he could play that 3 technique as well. He's got a quick first step. He's going to eat up either the A gap or he's going to force a double team in the B gap as well. I mean, this guy can do those things. His offer list, like you said, is that of a high 4 or 5 star kid. This is a guy who I think, with the crystal balls, that is going to end up in this class. But he's a very good player. There's no doubt about it. He can ball.
So then, where it really starts to cloud up is if the Buckeyes are going to take another D tackle. Emmanuel Rufin was set to announce on the 4th of July. OSU LSU came out today, said he is not announcing then. Makes you assume that Simeon might have got a spot.
Yeah.
Just kind of reading the tea leaves. And then our dude Deuce Gerald's, who we're not the only people that are like enamored with this guy. Like you read the message boards anywhere,
Yeah.
and everybody is like, "How are we not going to take this kid?"
Yeah.
Because everybody's saying he doesn't fit in Matt Patricia's scheme.
Yeah. I I just think Matt Patricia is so versatile in what he can do defensively. Like I feel like he could find a way to make him fit within the scheme. But I also think like this guy is just a good football player, and you can never have too many good football players on your
No.
defense. And I think he is scheme versatile as well. Like I don't think he is just like, oh, he's a gadget guy or he only fits in this one specific scheme. I think he could play in so many different things, and so I just think he's a good football player. And good football players, you can never have too many of them. So he's one of my favorite kids in this entire class, man. And so if he can end up in the scarlet and gray, like, listen, I might buy his jersey if that happens. Like, that's how highly I think of this
He's
kid, man. He's a stud, man. He is a stud.
well. Somebody brought up the point in a conversation I was reading, either on X or on a board, that when Matt Patricia's Patriots defenses were so good, you had dudes like Kyle Van Noy,
Yeah,
who are tweeners. You
yeah,
know, Aaron Donald was considered a tweener.
yep.
Uh, so man, Mick Walker came out, and I think he still has Ohio State taking Gerald's.
There we
Uh,
go, Mick.
we'll see. I hope. Um, but that just kind of, because D line is really the biggest position left that we're trying to fill spots at. Um, obviously you're still looking at your quarterback, but we think, and we'll talk about that in a minute, that is pretty much a done deal. Um, running back, yeah, you've got the big fish out there, and Hyder and Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either one of them end up here. I think Cooper is a Miami guy,
Okay.
but it sounds like there is some Georgia smoke still. Um, I still think there's going to be another O lineman. I think it's going to be De'Aaron Parks from West Virginia.
Yeah, I think so too.
As much as I would love it to be Darius Gray, um, then the D line guys we talked about, linebacker Xavier Griffin's still out there,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about him in a minute too. Braylon Womack at safety, which he's not announcing until the end of August, but I mean that's about as done deal as a done deal can be, um, which is awesome. I think that he is. We talked about him. The kid's elite.
Yeah.
So yeah, the board is shrinking, and I mean you're looking at a chance that this class is basically full by August 30th.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what we do at cornerback.
Yeah,
If we go after another one, I know there's a kid here in Ohio. I'm just I'm not saying we're going after anybody. I'm not saying this is a kid that we're going to offer or anything like that. But his name is, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he's from Cleveland Heights, I believe. He's a player, 3-star kid out of Cleveland Heights. I know he's a very good football player. Would love to see the Buckeyes go after that kid. I just root for those guys, man, that have always been grinding. I did read that there's a kid out in California that camped at Ohio State here recently and did a really good job, and that was a name that we should be looking out for. His name is drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I just had it on his notes, and on my notes, and I just lost it. But I'll be interested to see what we do at cornerback because I do think we need to have at least one more. Do we circle back around to Albert Hill? Are those some things that we do? Like, I just want to see what we do at cornerback because I do think we need to add. I think Coach Walt needs to add one more to that room.
yeah, I think you'll see something happen there. Um, and then speaking to circle back to the D line stuff, um, Kari Wilder killed it at, I think it was a Rivals camp or a
Oh yeah,
247 camp.
yeah,
And our guy Sam Greer. So shout out to both of those guys.
yep.
I did also, I think it was Berm said that he thinks Ohio State continues to chase Adam Guthrie until signing day.
Okay.
Um, there's something there. I'm trying to find that corner from Cleveland. It's really crazy when you look through the rankings, like how skewed they are. But like you look at a guy like Rael Kelly from Winton Woods. He's the 40th ranked player in Ohio, and he's going to Bama.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean,
I know.
Another interesting name, and I think we hit on it for a second, was Braden Fogel,
Yeah,
the tight end from
he just put out
Lex.
his top
Who
three.
did he?
Yeah, but LSU, Georgia, and he just put it out. I just saw it on X. But I know LSU and Georgia and Penn State.
And what's wild is when that kid got into high school, everybody thought he was going to be a basketball guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he was very, very, he was killing the AAU circuit. Um, but yeah, it just, for whatever reason, the OSU interest was never there. The Cleveland Heights kid is Henry Perryman.
yeah, that kid, he can play, man. He is an absolute stud. Not saying we're recruiting him or anything, but it's a kid that I know is out there that can ball, man. And so I love when those underrated kids get an opportunity late in the fold because they
Yeah.
come in with a chip on their shoulder.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's 5'11", 167, so the height is already there.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of weight on him. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll continue to poke Hill and see if there's anything there. I think Vic Singleton, we knew going into this year that he
Yep.
was going to be the guy to leave Ohio. Um, so part of the reason the board has shrunk so much is this week alone, 5 guys who have been tied to OSU at some point in one way or the other all came off the board. That's not counting, Ruffin postponing his announcement. We said Jaquadian Guilford postponed his as well. That's going to be interesting because so today's Friday. He was supposed to announce today. Yesterday, the crystal ball came in for Ohio State from Alan Treyu, who's the Midwest guru, and then the Ole Miss smoke really picked up late last night, and then like 7 o'clock this morning, he says, "I'm not announcing today." So
Yeah.
kudos to this kid for doing it right. You can tell that he only wants to do this once.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And this is part of it, man. Like this is just part of the whole recruiting world now. You just got to make sure you get this decision right. And I can never knock any family, any kid who he wants to make sure that they're doing this the right way, not wanting
Yep.
to rush through it. And so you want to make sure you get it right. You don't want to have any regrets. And so take your time, man. Get it right. Wherever that is. Pray on it, think on it. Talk it over with whoever you trust. Make sure you're in the room with the right people who have your best interests at heart, and go from there, man. So whatever you got to do, make sure that you have people around you that can trust. That's the one thing that the coach and the couch potato can tell you, man, because
Yeah, absolutely.
there's a lot of people out there that say they have your best interests at heart and they are looking out for themselves, man.
Yeah. So, your guy Danny Odom committed to Nebraska.
Yeah, disappointing.
Um, you know, I, it's an interesting day when OSU loses a kid to Nebraska.
Yeah,
Now they're building something out there. They're trying to get
yeah,
back. Um, and he had relationships, and so in
yep,
this case, relationships won. I
yep,
mean,
no doubt.
um, Richard Wesley, Danny Lanning's pool mate, um, commits to Texas. So, yeah, do with that as you will.
Yeah,
Um, and then Max Sutter, the all-world tight end that we really like, commits to Bama.
okay.
I get it. Um, if I'm going to be interested to see if Bama doesn't have the bounce back this year, what happens down there?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Coach DeBoer, listen, Kalen DeBoer has won everywhere he's been, and so
Yeah,
there's not many coaches I respect more than Coach DeBoer. I think he is a very very good coach. He does things the right way, as far as I know. He builds up programs, and I think he's in a tough spot following Nick Saban,
well,
obviously.
yeah,
Very similar to Coach Day following, Urban. But at the end of the day, like he finds a way to win, and if he doesn't, he'll be on the hot seat just like Coach Day was on the hot seat, and so
Yep.
it's a tough spot to be in. But I think he'll find a way to figure it out.
Drew Evers, the offensive lineman, stays in Texas and commits to SMU. I've seen a lot of Ohio State fans talking trash about the decision. It's the kid's backyard.
Yeah,
That they are a playoff team,
yeah,
and I'm going to assume the NIL was worth it. So
yeah. Listen,
it's a win-win-win.
we know there's been a lot of money down there for a long time.
Pony
There's been a
Express.
lot of money down there for a long time, and so yeah, SMU's a good program. They're just in the playoff. It's not like he's going to some bum program. Like they are a good program, and so hey, it's in his backyard. More power to him.
Yep. And then Jackson Ford committed to Penn State today.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, the boards are shrinking, man,
Yeah.
and it's going to shrink even more in the next week. Um, Cam Brickle announces tomorrow. Like you said, we think he's going to be a Buckeye. Xavier Griffin announces on Sunday. I think that's a Texas, Alabama. Um, and I get it. We kind of got in late on him
Yeah.
because he was the USC commit. And then Landon Barnes on Monday. OSU smoke there. And then we finally might get our quarterback on Thursday the 3rd when Luke Fahey announces his commitment.
Yeah. I've been doing some more research on him, man. I guess he is like a very good lacrosse player as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been doing a little digging on him, man. He's a well-rounded athlete. I guess he's a really good three-sport athlete, very similar to Lincoln Keenholz. So, anytime you can get those multi-sport athlete guys in there, man, I'm all for it. So, if he commits to the Buckeyes, I think you get a good one.
Yeah, I mean those lacrosse players are different, man.
Yeah,
To be a quarterback on the football field and go out and get hit in lacrosse like that, we will take that as a win.
yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, man. We are 63 days away by the time this episode will post from OSU Texas.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna start hammering. Obviously we're always gonna do the recruiting stuff. Uh, I want to dive into our captain's picks sometime in July. I
Okay.
think that we need to go there. I think it's easy this year. I really do.
Okay.
Obviously we'll do some more depth chart projection stuff. Camp will start in August. Um, kind of do what we anticipate for each of the freshmen, like we did last year. So yeah, I mean it's gonna start, filling up. Um, we've got pretty cool giveaway coming up. I think I got tracking for it today. I got a random email saying that something's coming. I got Carson had it shipped to my house, so shout
Okay.
out to Carson for that.
All right.
And then we probably will not record next week. Coach Slate is headed up north, much to the chagrin of his Buckeye fanhood. Um, he's headed to the state up north.
Yeah.
I will try to maybe do like a Facebook Live or something, just kind of do one of those. I haven't done it in a minute where we just sitting there and people throw questions at me from Buckeye World to memorabilia to all of that. That way we do some interaction there. But we're at the 30-minute mark, so let's take a minute. And what's good in the personal life?
Oh man, this Bro, I'm ready for vacation. It is we've been nonstop football wise since March 31st. And so much deserved break is here, but things are good, man. June's always a busy month for us. We got two kids' birthdays. My 8-year-old Willa, she just turned 8, and then Eva just turned 2 today, and then our anniversary. 9 years we've been married, so June's always a crazy month for us, man. But everything's good this way, man. How's everything with you?
Good, man. It's wild to think we're like 6 weeks away from moving the boy in for junior year.
It's crazy.
He's been over there all week. He's house sitting for his boss this week.
Okay.
Got to go hang out with his will-be roommate last night. They played some pickleball. So yeah, pretty low key over here. Nothing like your world.
Yeah.
And we have to give Mrs. Slater props. 9 years, that woman's a saint.
She is a saint, man. She's the best.
She earns it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's all we've got. I think
Yeah.
we're trying to work on getting this kind of concise for you guys, so
Yeah.
that way we don't take up your whole day. We could talk about this stuff forever, but nobody wants to listen to that. So, but yeah, I will. I'll post on Facebook and X whenever I'm going to do the Facebook Live this week. Might do it Thursday night, depending on what time Fahey announces.
Okay.
So, but yeah, with that, we will see you guys. Let's play it on in 2 weeks.